All right, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's get settled in. If you're ready, find a comfortable seat and we'll close our eyes together. Taking the time here to settle your attention inward and come into your own breath. Feeling that inhale draw in and down, filling the body in all directions. And as you exhale, allow the body to soften a little, shoulders soften. Face, jaw softens. And as much as we might soften on the exhale, can we also feel the movement of the exhale moving up and out of the body, as if it's going up and out the top of the head? Good. Hands together at our heart. 3 ohms. Take a deep breath in. Good. Okay, gently release your arms a little away from you so you're kind of reach out toward the floor beside you. And depending on how much you're sitting up on, you might not actually be able to touch the floor. That's fine. Just reach your arms open at a little angle away, fingertips pointing towards the floor. On your inhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, leaving those arms straight, palms facing down. And on your exhale, extend, broaden side to side, and reach your fingertips toward the floor, maybe even touching the floor. Inhale, shrug up. Exhale, broaden and reach down. Keep going. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, broaden and reach down. And just noticing that elasticity there, kind of giving yourself a little bit more elasticity here in the shoulders, neck, chest, front, sides, and back. Good. Now we're going to lift the arms up to about shoulder level. On your inhale, you're going to rotate your palms to face up. And on your exhale, you're going to rotate them down. Okay, on that inhale, as you rotate up, squeeze your shoulder blades a little toward each other. And on your exhale, broaden the shoulder blades apart from each other. Not so much that we're rounding the shoulders. We're not turning the thumbs down. We're not rolling the shoulders forward. We're just broadening side to side. Inhale, roll up. Shoulder blades squeeze a little bit. Exhale, broaden as you turn the palms toward the floor. Good. Inhale, palms up, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, palm down, broaden. Good. One more time. Great. And then just relax your arms down into your lap, palms facing up. And we're just going to take gentle circles with the chin. Super gentle circles with your chin. Let's go a few times in each direction. Leave your jaw relaxed. Good. Don't worry if you hear a lot of crispy crunchies there. That's just little adhesions working their way out. This is a nice massage for the tissues. Yeah, it helps wash those tissues. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take one hand down towards the floor and the other arm straight out from the shoulder. And we're going to take a couple different versions of side stretching here. Okay, so first version, this extended arm, the palm is facing up. Okay, so the pinky edge of the arm is facing front. And as you take your arm by your ear, that pinky edge of the arm is still facing front as we reach over. You can bend that bottom arm as much as is comfortable to help you reach over. Okay, and then we're going to come up to that starting point. And now we're going to turn this extended arm so the palm is facing forward. Okay, so that when we go to the side, this palm is still facing forward, getting a little different stripe of stretch through that shoulder. And then come back up to starting. And now we're going to turn the palm to face down, so away from the head, so that when we come up and over, the palm is facing up toward the ceiling. Good. And then back to center. And then we're going to relax, palms face up on the lap. Let's feel what we've got here. Just noticing the sensations through your shoulder, maybe through your waistline, spine, that whole side of your body. Great. Okay, let's try the other side. So starting with a nice wingspan, we're going to turn the palm to face what feels like up. So when we go over, that pinky edge of the arm is facing forward. Nice big reach here. Put some good breath in it. Great, and then come back up to that starting point. Now palm is going to face forward, so that as we go to the side, that pinky edge of the arm is actually facing up, giving you a little different opening through that shoulder, ribs, side body. Okay, coming back up. Now we're turning the palm to face away, down, way and down, so that when we come up and over, and you're just doing this to the amount that is accessible and safe in your own body. Yeah, we're not forcing anything. Each direction, it's going to feel different for each person. Okay, and then coming back up, turn the palms to face up on your lap and take a moment, maybe even with your eyes closed, to feel here. Some new sensations through the shoulders, arms, hands, maybe. Great. And then lift both arms all the way up. Interlace your fingers. Extend your index fingers and thumbs out of that clasp. Okay. And just reach straight up and down. Try not to flare your chest forward. In fact, we're going to pull the belly back. We're going to pull the rib cage back a little bit and just reach straight up and down. Good. Breathing here. Deep inhale, deep exhale. And then we're going to open the arms out to the sides. And we're going to take this rotation again like we did before. Inhale, roll the palms up. Exhale, roll the palms down. As you inhale and roll the palms up, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Exhale, extend. Good. Now we're going to change it a little bit as we inhale and roll the palms up. We're going to pull the elbows into the rib cage. And as we exhale, we're going to turn those palms down and extend away. Inhale, pull in. Exhale, extend. Inhale, pull in. Palms are up. Exhale, extend. You want to feel the shoulder blades squeezing toward each other. A little action through the triceps. Exhale and extend. One more. Good. And then let the arms relax. And again, little circles with the chin. Several times each direction. Perfect. Okay, great. So now let's go ahead and come down onto our back for a moment. We're just going to give our arms a rest down by our sides. So you can have your knees bent, arms resting down at your sides, palms. Let's have those palms facing up. Okay, and let your shoulders just relax onto the floor. Take your right leg up toward the ceiling and let's flex and point the foot. Look at those toes, let's even get those toes spreading a little bit. So as you inhale and flex your foot, spread your toes out a bit. And as you exhale and point, see if you can maybe even go one at a time with those toes, like a little flourish, kind of like a little wave, just one toe at a time, extending out into that point. So we get some nice action through all those toes. Really helps. Getting your toes mobile really helps to strengthen your feet. And strong feet means good, steady balance. Yeah. The more agile our feet are, the more sense of stability, balance, and strength we feel in all of our movements. Okay. Good. Let's go ahead and take the other side. Other leg up, flexing, pointing. And we can coordinate this with breath. Inhale to flex and exhale to point. So you can slow it down. And then let's also get those toes involved. So as you inhale and flex, spread those toes out as much as you can. Don't worry if it's difficult. It's the trying that starts to build that functionality. Yeah. Spread those toes as much as you can. And then as you point, try to go one toe at a time, probably pinky toe first as you wave those toes out into the point. Good, keep going. Great. Okay, perfect. And now let's hug those knees towards the chest and just give those knees a nice stir. Stir them in circles. Several times each way. Great. And then you're going to roll all the way over to your side and come up and around onto your knees and your hands. Okay. So now our shoulders have had a little rest and our feet are a little bit warm. Let's take cat-cow here and let's continue with the feet. So we're going to alternate the feet as we alternate our spine. Inhale to sway and flex your feet. Exhale to round the spine, tuck the tail and the chin under, and the tops of the feet come to the floor. Inhale to flex. Exhale to point. Good. Keep going a little longer. Really pulling that breath in and emptying it out. Good. Coming to a neutral spine, and let's have those feet flexed so that we can sit back a little towards those lifted heels. Okay, you can just let your palms probably just come resting on the ground if they aren't already. And we're gonna just push forward and back a little bit just to kind of stretch the knees, the ankles, those feet. Okay. Just staying, of course, in that range of motion that feels healthy to you. Gently stretching. And it'll help to get, if you have the ability to kind of activate your feet a little bit here, like sort of try to spread your toes a little into the floor as you're pressing back. Give a little kind of extra activity. You might notice that it gives you just a little more opening through the feet. Great. Okay, good. Now we're going to take our right leg forward outside our right arm. Okay. And you're going to put your right hand up on your right knee. So we're not in a super long lunge here. We're almost like more in a kneeling posture. Okay, because we've come from all fours and we're just bringing that leg forward. All right. So here, I'm just going to invite you to push into this front hand, this top hand that's on your knee, and let that help you roll your shoulders open. If you feel like you want to block under that bottom hand, feel free to put some support there. Okay. And we're going to Inhale, release the chest forward towards the floor. Exhale, push a little into this turn. Inhale, face the floor. Exhale, twist. Now, if you prefer maybe hand on the hip, that could work too. Okay, inhale, forward, exhale, turn, and see if you can really squeeze those shoulder blades toward each other as you turn open. Good. Okay. Now, before we switch sides, I'm going to invite you to bring your hands down. Whoop. Something froze here. Okay, I don't know what that was all about. So before we switch sides, I invite you just to come down with both hands on the inside of this front leg. And to the extent that's comfortable, I'm just going to turn this way so it's a little easier angle to see. To the extent that's comfortable, you're just going to bend the elbows and let your upper body soften. Let your head drop. Okay. Your hands can be on the floor or even on blocks. I'm just letting the upper body relax. Let that head hang down. Okay. This is also a pretty good opener here. This is starts to get that hip released as the torso folds. Okay. No forcing. All right, and then let's switch sides of this little mini lunge, I guess we could call it. Let's get that left leg out beside the left arm. I'll spin down so I can still see you. Okay. Maybe hand on the knee. Maybe hand on the hip. We're going to push a little open. Each one has its advantages, right? If you have your hand on your knee, you can use that as a nice rooting. It also helps you remember to keep your knee right above your ankle. So that can be a nice stabilizing force there. You're going to inhale, face the floor. Exhale, turn. Inhale, face the floor. Exhale, turn. If you have your hand on your hip, it does help you kind of take the shoulder back in a little bit different way. Feel like you're kind of stacking the shoulders a little differently. But maybe you also lose track of this front knee accidentally. So just try to keep that knee right above your ankle. Okay. Turning and releasing. Wonderful. Very nice for the whole body. Getting a lot of parts working together here. Let's bring those hands down on the inside of the leg. Bend the elbows, soften the upper body, relax your head down. Breathing and releasing here. Good. And then slowly back out of this. Let's come to our table position. Now, if it's comfortable for you to come into downward facing, let's go ahead and take that direction. If weight bearing on the arms is not feeling good, then go ahead and take a standing forward fold with any width of leg that feels good to you. You could have wide legs. You could have straight, closer together legs, maybe bent.
And if downward facing feels okay, then let's hang out here and breathe, maybe pedal the heels. Keep that deep breath going, filling completely, emptying completely. Sometimes when I'm here in downward facing, I like to turn my head from side to side, just to kind of work through the upper back a little here. Great. And let's find our way all the way up to standing. Slowly, slowly coming all the way up. And let's just check out what we've got here. Standing easy. Maybe move gently, just kind of acclimating to upright. I'm going to tilt my camera a little up. Great. Okay, so now go ahead and take your legs nice and wide. And we're going to turn to one side into a warrior two stance. Okay. So we've come out to lunge, the knee either right above the ankle or even a little bit behind is okay, but not beyond the ankle. And you're just going to invite yourself to sit straight down into the center here. Both legs are strong. Both feet are kind of pushing into the floor. You feel like you're pushing a little down through your legs. And then also you can create a little bit of a pull, a little bit of a draw up. So you can kind of do a little mix of both. A little feeling of pushing, rooting, also a little feeling of drawing the leg bones into their sockets. And this creates this nice, even expression, stability without stuckness, right? Okay, and then let's go back into those arms that we had when we were seated at the very beginning. So inhale, arms open, palms up. Exhale, palms down. Inhale, palms up. Squeeze those shoulder blades toward each other. Exhale, palms down. Okay, we could even try one of the other things that we did at the very beginning, which is have your arms a little pointed down. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up. Exhale, broaden and reach. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, broaden and reach. And you can start to take this maybe even together. Like inhale, shrug your shoulders. Exhale, broaden and reach, and let that reach take your arms open. So just kind of they inform each other, right? You start to feel these movements link up and all of these little fine connections link up. So now if your front leg starts to get tired, maybe we could inhale and straighten, exhale and bend, right? So you can ease off of that. Good. Great. Now let's go ahead and inhale, straighten that front leg and lift the arms all the way up by your ears. Fingers pointing up, both legs straight. And we're going to very, very gently, any comfortable amount, tip over both arms by the ears. If this becomes really problematic, just put one arm down, no problem. Okay? But let's try not to go so far where we stop breathing. A little tilt is plenty, plenty. Little tilt and breathe. Little tilt and breathe. Root down through your legs. Good. And come back up to center. And now let's take this all on the other side. Let's turn the legs. Cultivate a nice little
warrior stance here. Remember that you want your feet to almost be, if the feet were actually together, they'd be in a T shape. Yeah. All right. So a nice lunge. Let's lift those arms gently. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now I realize your arms might be getting tired. This is a lot of work for the arms and shoulders. So if you just need to have them more still on this side, that's fine. You just work with what you got. Listen to your body. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, reach. See what feels good here. Remember that you could maybe, if your leg gets tired, you could straighten it on an inhale, exhale, bend. We could even do this one here on this side. Remember this one, we inhale, bring the elbows in, exhale, extend. All of these are nice. You can just mix it up, mix and match. Doesn't have to be exactly what you did on the other side. A reminder again, it's totally okay to just have your arms steady and still somewhere. It doesn't have to be, they could be resting if you want. All right. When you're ready, we're going to straighten this front leg, arms up. Super gently, not any forceful amount, just a little tilt out to the side. Check that your neck can move here, that you're breathing. You're not holding your breath and you're not doing these like tiny little survival breaths. Nice deep breaths. Good. Great. And then back up to center. Let's parallel those feet and bring the legs all the way together. Ah. Let's just check out what this feels like here. Take a moment to feel the stack of the body. Relax through the legs, relax through the torso, shoulders, face. Let yourself feel what's here. Good. Okay. Now let's turn to the front of the mat and we'll take a little sequence in this direction. Okay. So let's actually incorporate some chair posture here. This will be a nice combination of the leg and arm work we've already done. So on your inhale, lift your arms up by your ears. On your exhale, sit back into chair. Okay. Now right here, if this is hard on your low back, hard on your shoulders or your neck, just take your arms somewhere else. Maybe they point back beside your hips. All right. So inhale, we're going to come up. Exhale, we're going to sit down into chair. Inhale to come up and exhale to sit. So you're following the pace of your own breath. And as you come up, squeeze those glutes. Push down into your feet, push down into your heels, squeeze those glutes to help you come up. Good. Okay, next time that you get back into your chair pose, go ahead and stay. Couple breaths. And then we're going to fold forward. Good. Fold forward over bent legs, over those chair legs. Bend at the hip crease. Release your spine. Good. On an inhale, go ahead and step your right leg back, putting your knee on the floor.
So we're going to go into a nice low lunge here. And then when you're ready, we're going to see about lifting the hands off the ground. Okay, if you cannot lift the hands off the ground comfortably or you prefer not to for any reason, that's fine. Leave them on the ground or leave them on blocks. We're going to take a twist one way or the other. So if you're up, I'm going to invite you to take your arms open. Let me face you for a second. I invite you to take your arms open like so, a little cactus position. Okay, so if you're up, your twist is going to be like so. Inhale here, exhale, twist. And this twist is coming from deep down in the foundation. You're pushing into your bottom knee, bottom foot. You're hugging the hips in. You're engaging from the belly, from the core as you turn. And then you're going to inhale, center. And let's do this a couple of times. If you are starting with your hands on the floor, your turn is going to be one hand down. Okay, what the other hand can come to the hip or the ceiling. Either way, inhale to center, exhale to turn. All right. Inhale to center, exhale to turn. Great. Good. And then we're going to bring the hands down. We're going to step back into child's pose or downward facing, whatever you want here. Breathing. Nice deep inhales and exhales. Releasing through the length of your spine. Good. Let's go ahead and try the second side of our lunge. So, right leg forward, assuming that's your second side. And let's take either hands starting on the ground or coming a little taller up. Goalpost arms. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Strong through the base. Strong through the core. Good. Okay. When you're ready, hands down on the floor again. And again, child's pose or downward facing. Maybe even a little bit of both. Totally up to you. Nice, easy breaths. Good. Okay. Now go ahead and come up into a seat. With your knees bent and your feet a little bit away from you. Okay, you can have your hands right on the front of the knees, arms straight, shoulders back, spine long. We're just going to hang out here and breathe for a moment. What we want to cultivate is an engagement through the core, through the abdominal core here, so that if we were to take the hands off of the knees, we would be staying right here in the same exact position, shoulders relaxed,
collarbones, neck, face, and jaw relaxed. Okay, the effort is gently coalescing down in the abdominal core. And that's kind of a whole, it's a cross section of the body, right? It's not just the front of the body, it's a band around not just the surface either, but deep inside around the spine. Okay? Hanging out and breathing here. Good. Now slip your hands to the back of one leg and lean back enough that you can suspend one foot, that foot off the floor. Arms straight, shoulders back. And we're going to just gently squeeze the thigh to extend the leg. Okay? So we're just going to pump here. Pumping, squeezing that thigh. Now, it may be that your leg doesn't get perfectly straight. Okay? If the hamstrings are on the tighter side, this is going to feel difficult here. Just do the best you can. Okay. Great. Good. And then let's hold it. Hold and breathe. Squeeze that thigh. You're going to do a little push and pull between the hand and the leg. Great. And then let's switch it out. Switch to the other side. You're leaning back against this, but you're not slouching back, okay? So shoulders are back, spine is lifted and long. You're pushing through the seat. Arms are straight. Gently squeezing the thigh as you extend and push out through the foot. Strengthening the quads here is so good for your knees. Your quadricep muscles go directly over that knee. Okay. The muscle fibers themselves kind of turn into fascia and tendon as they go over the knee. They kind of thin out, but that insertion of that muscle group is all the way over the knee down to the front of the shin. It's a big, big territory here. And so when we keep this muscle group strong, we're keeping those knees strong. Good. Let's hang out and breathe, legs straight. Keeping this prana flowing through the whole body. Great. Okay, and then release that down. Now I'm going to invite you to take your arms behind you a little and widen your feet. Okay, so you're going to stay in this little bit of a lean back, arms behind you now, feet wide, and we're just going to rock from side to side. Whoops, there goes my camera again. I don't know what's happening today with that. Some little temperamental thing. Okay, so we're just going to take some nice rocking action. And I usually like to unpin one hand from behind as I come around into the turn. Maybe it comes to the opposite knee. Just take more of the body into the turn. Okay, soft turning like this, especially after that movement that we just did, can help release any accidental buildup of tension in the low back. All right. Sometimes, despite our kind attentiveness, we build up a little tension, and we're gonna
let it move on through, right? Good. Okay. So now I have a little trajectory here that we can play with. Let's start with a bridge pose. And it might be nice if you use a block, okay, right between your knees. If you don't have a block or if you prefer not to use it, that's also fine. We can totally do it without the block, but you're going to lie back. Okay. If you've got that block, your distance of the feet is set, right? You want your ankles and knees and hips that are all in that same line. Don't pin your feet closer together than the knees. If you aren't using the block, you have a little bit more choice, which you might appreciate depending on, how your body's responding here. So let's take the arms starting at the sides. On your inhale, you're going to press the hips up towards the ceiling. And if you like, you could also take the arms up by your ears, up overhead onto the floor. Okay, so feel free to leave your arms down beside you if you want, or if you like to move them, you can move them. Inhale to squeeze the hips up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to squeeze up. Exhale down. Now, what you also want to notice besides what's happening with the lower body is what's happening with your upper back and neck. So as you lift your hips, relax your neck. Your chest is rolling towards your face. Back of the neck is lengthening just on its own. Inhale to lift. And then exhale to lower. Good. Take a pause with your hips down. Good. Okay. Now, I want to throw in a little option here for those of you who might be feeling happier in your knees, a little stronger in your ability. It will actually require you to stand on your knees instead of being on your back. And just, just take it or leave it. Some of you are going to be like, this feels great. Some of you are going to be like, this kills my knees. So if you're in the my knees aren't happy camp, stay on your back and keep practicing your bridge. Maybe just stay up for a few breaths. You could maybe even put a block underneath your hips and just hang out here. And even if you have support underneath your hips, still kind of work the legs. So work your feet into the floor, work a little bit of a hug of the musculature here. Maybe even work on extending one leg here, like so, kind of like how we were doing when we were seated. Okay, so that you can get some activity through the quads. You could do something like this. Okay, all of this is super nice core engagement, quad engagement. All right, so maybe you're on your back, but if you're curious and capable in this direction, this might be a fun one for some of you. You start on your knees, feet flexed. Okay, the beginning of the movement is just sitting back and standing up. Okay, sitting back and standing up. All right, that's the basic movement. That could already be plenty. Or you do not have to sit all the way to your heels. You just can go the amount that feels good. If you want to add another layer in, you can be lifting the arms out straight ahead of you, parallel to the floor. And on your exhale, you can either sit down like you just have been doing, or you can lean the whole thing back, right?
So we start to create even a little more strength here. You can even alternate, right? That might feel good. You alternate. You could even lift the arms up. Don't don't lean back with the arms up above the head. It could just be something like this, right? If you're going to lean back, keep those arms forward as a counter leverage. Good. Okay, that's a lot. Your thigh, don't do too much or you're going to be mad at me tomorrow. You're going to blame shift and put it all on me. Okay? Now, if you are if and when you are done doing the upper version, let's take a stretch from here. You can use a block and take a little reach back into the side, basically like a half camel pose. Okay. We could alternate sides a few times, for sure, at least once, but maybe even a couple times if you want. Stay and breathe and work this direction, work this knee down away from its arm. So you get that nice opening. You can feel that whole line of the thigh, hip, waist, shoulder, fingers. Okay. Now, there may even be a few of you out there who are comfortable putting both hands back onto blocks. Okay. Breathing here. Good. Okay. So once you're done with those little experiments, then we're going to come again and take some type of little twist. If you happen to be upright and you don't mind staying upright, you could take a deer pose, twist here. If you're on your back, you can just take those feet wide and drop the knees down to one side. You could do any one of those you prefer, no matter where you started. Okay, so if you were on your back and you want to sit up for a second, or if you were up and you want to lie down, go for it. You could even do it all. There's time to do it all if you want. Great. Just breathing, enjoying that turn. Perfect. Okay. Now, before we get all the way into Shavasana, let's just come up into an easy seat and take a little bit of a forward fold with a straighter leg. Okay. So come up into a seat, take your legs open, and we're going to fold right through the middle super gently. Take your time. We're not just going to fling ourselves there. Legs open, feet flexed. Engage your legs a little bit. Hinge at your hip creases. And just start at the very beginning of your range of motion. Yeah, stay there and breathe. Lift your spine long. So even though I can tell that I can probably go a little further forward, I'm staying right here because there's already good stuff happening right here. I can feel A lot going on. I'm not going to just blow past just for the sake of more fold, right? Take your time to let it all develop. Let that full picture develop. That's where then you get this really wholesome continuum into your own range of motion. You can experiment with how relaxed or engaged you are with your legs here. I kind of tend to always go the middle way. So I'm neither fully relaxed nor firmly pressing. It's a little bit of both. But every once in a while, maybe I'll practice, I'll just kind of press a little, get fully pressing. Just notice how that feels and then release it. Softly working your way to your own best spot. I mean, each spot is best, right? Each aspect of it is best. So it's just where is it going today, this breath? Hmm. Maybe you even kind of walk a little side to side here. That can be nice so we don't forget about that direction. And over a few breaths, you might find yourself finding a new comfortable spot. Good. All right. Time for La Shavasana. Go ahead and find your way into a comfy resting position. Okay. Lie back. Organizing into your restful shape. And right here, especially at the beginning of your Shavasana, take time to stay with a little bit of extra focus on the breath. Filling and emptying. And then slowly you can relax any bit of effort around your breath. Relaxing all forms of effort. You may not have ever noticed this before, but it even is a little bit of a form of effort to like pay attention to a sound. Like if you hear a bird or a sound from the other room, the little bit of effort that it would take to identify that sound, that's still an effort, right? So can we just let go as best we can from any form and all forms of effort?
giving over completely. At some point, even releasing the effort of trying to release effort, or just simply being. Relaxing and releasing. As we release efforts, this gives our whole being the ability to absorb a much deeper level, because there's nothing in the way.
Allow your breath to deepen here. Bend your knees and roll to your side. Slowly come up into a seat. I'm going to take a few moments here to just settle into the seat. Make sure you're comfortable, something under your hips. Eyes softly closed. Treat this as a continuation of Shavasana, relaxing inward. Good. Now, a little breathing awareness here. Feel the whole length of your spine from the tip of your tail all the way up, the length of your spine, and all the way up, even through the top of the head. And at the very center of this distance between the top of your head and your tailbone is your heart center, right in between the two poles. As you breathe in, I invite you to feel that your breath is beginning in the very deepest center of your heart and expanding up and down to either end of the pole, tail and top of the head. And as you exhale, it's all collecting back from top and bottom back into center. Then allow the directions to open up so that as you inhale from the heart, it expands in all directions, every single possible directions, like a light shining. And as you exhale, that light continues to shine. It doesn't diminish. You just simply rest back into its center at the heart. Inhale, expanding in all directions from heart center. And exhale, relaxing into the center of that expanse. Hands together at our heart. Let's take a deep breath in. Om. Shanti. 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 Our teachers and our teachers' teachers, to our inner teacher, each other, and the whole world family, we bow. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So good to practice
Beautiful
with
class.
you. Have a
I have
great,
to tell you,
yeah.
Nicole, when I do yoga, my whole AFib thing feels so much better.
Oh, great. That's great to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
because it's all about the breathing.
It's all about the breathing. That's regulating your nervous system and
Yeah.
yeah.
You could probably help people with AFib.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I think and I'm taking more yoga classes because of that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Well, maybe I'll put that as
because
a little testimonial on my next newsletter.
because doing it on my own isn't the same as a class.
I know.
It's not. It's
I know.
good, but it's not.
I know because we don't have that, we don't give ourselves that same type of attention. There's something about having the accountability of being together and following along and
And the teacher student,
yeah, yeah. We're it's relational.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Well, may I use your little
Oh,
words?
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
yeah,
okay.
absolutely. No,
Awesome. I'll do that. I'm preparing a
I mean,
newsletter right now.
I have a cousin my cousin's cousin, who was a nurse, who also, she and her husband both have AFib, and they're in their 70s. And she said there's been studies that done that indicate that yoga is helpful, but I can tell it is.
Yeah, well, because especially yoga done properly, right? There's different.
Yes. Yeah.
So the way that
Not,
we're practicing, it's harmonizing. It's basically regulating it's your heart rate variability, right? That is regulated by your nervous system, which is regulated by your breath. And when we put it with movement, it's, it's basically encoding it into our tissues,
yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's encoding it as a habit. It's more than just something that's kind of, conceptual. We're really like building it as a whole habit deep, deep in our complex.
And that's what they, my son-in-law, who's 57, he got AFib when he was 36. And he's completely off, no meds. He's had a couple of years ago invasive procedures, but he's deeply, deeply into breathing exercises. So,
Yeah. I mean, the breath is the key. I mean, I can't tell you how many times it helps with everything, with like, people with lung issues, people with any type of, I mean, how many people don't have some type of stress related thing going on?
yeah,
Like, it just helps with everything.
it absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
digestion, metabolism,
Yeah,
sleep, all the rhythms, all the biorhythms. Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for that report. That's great.
Thank you. Talk to you
Okay.
soon.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.